always present her stories, always so inspiring. Notice how she said she couldn't get the word accident to come out of her mouth because it wasn't an accident, it was a crash. Accidents are things that can be prevented. But when you're driving on the road and you're drunk, you have substances in you, you're like you're not setting yourself up for success anyway. Um, so furthering the program, um, I would like to introduce Sebastian as our moderator for the panelist for the panel that we're gonna have. If you have any questions during the panel, feel free to type them in the chat. Make sure Sebastian or one of the panelists is able to answer your question. But without further ado, Sebastian, take the stage.
Greenspan, thank you so much. I think it's a lot of information for us to process as students, as parents, but it can get better than that in terms of us being in a position where we are able to prevent all these studies coming up. Then we can stop using the word accident unnecessarily. Now we have a very good panel today. We have Angela, Sebastian, and Mishabo. So what I'll do, I'll jump straight up to the questions that we had received from people. And I'll ask them to respond to those questions. And then after that, we'll go back to the questions that have been put in the chat. So let's get to that. I don't know if Mishabo is here today. Is he?
Yeah, I'm here, right here.
Thank you. Good to hear from you. Okay, the first question is actually coming to you. My first question for you. And the question is put it this way. Why do we normalize risky behavior like speeding, vaping, or driving distracted, but shame people in who ask for help in mental health? How would you respond to that?
Yeah, it's a really weird thing to say because both of those things result in dangerous things. Risky behaviors like speeding, vaping, driving distracted, those are seen as normal things that anyone does, while mental health struggles are seen as something to be ashamed of, something to hide away from the world, which is why we treat them as two different things even though they're the same thing. It's not a good thing and something that we should strive to change because at the end of the day, they both result in they both may result in the death of someone.
Thank you. If you want to go back and just introduce yourself, tell them who you are. That's a very knowledgeable answer. That way they also understand your background and just how many, track you've been to track before. Just in your name and grade. That way they can know what kind of team we have tonight.
Sorry about that. My name is Mishaba Madiga. I'm a junior at Fort Zumwalt East, and I've been to one traction conference.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that answer. That's a beautiful answer. The next one goes to Angela, and she'll introduce herself as she answers this question. If your best friend got into a car with a driver who had been drinking or high, what would you actually stop you, from speaking up, and how do we change that?
Hi, my name is Angela Mahenio. I go to Westminster Christian Academy, and I am in 10th grade. And how I would answer this question is, to be honest, most of the time, whenever things like those happen, serious things, it's always just what happened that night. You were doing something that you shouldn't have done, and your friend was doing something that they shouldn't have done. So with that, it's just the insane guilt and shame that, oh, when my parents find out, I'm gonna get in so much trouble and everything. So they just hesitate. But it's really not something you should hesitate to go and reach out and ask for help, just like Abigail was saying in her presentation, because the split second that you waste hesitating could be a second saved in saving that person's life, especially.
Thank you very much. I'll shoot this second question to you too, given that you're still on that line of answering those questions, and it goes to social media glamourizes drugs, alcohol, and reckless driving. How much of our decisions making is truly ours versus what we see online?
So social media does play a big part in how we choose to act, since it is something that we are being influenced by our peers do have a very big hold on us. The people that we hang out with affect the decisions we make. So in that way, it it is our fault. We can't remove like personal responsibility from us doing those things, but social media does play a big part in it. It's just whether we make the decision to proceed with it as well. So that's why it's always great to have people that can hold you accountable for what you're doing and have good, strong morals to prevent you from doing those things, such as drugs and doing alcohol. Because if you're in that type of social crowd, you are more drawn to it, as well as seeing in social media too.
Thank you so much. And I know we have more panelists that I'll come to here that I would like to introduce. Can you guys hear me? Sorry, I think I was out a little bit. Sorry. I know we have other panelists here that I'll go ahead and introduce, but let me ask this question, then I'll invite them. They're from our other Hindu community and other groups that we had invited today. So I'll go to question number 4, and I'll ask the panelist to introduce himself before I bring the other panelists that we have today. And this goes to Sebastian. Should teens be held legally accountable for encouraging dangerous behavior like filming, reckless driving, or posing substance use online? Posting substance use online. So go ahead, Sebastian.
I'm Sebastian Gaito. I'm a freshman at Chaminade College Prep, and I've been to one traction meeting and one prevent ed meeting. I believe that to a certain extent, teens should be held accountable for promoting dangerous driving and drug promotion because teens look up to people they see as themselves. So if I think something's cool because I see this guy same age as me doing it, I'll more likely lean towards doing something like that. And it's not okay if we have people with the ability to influence the masses go ahead and promote things that can hurt them. And we should have a certain level of accountability for what we show and others to do.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a good answer, guys. That's pretty good. Let's take. Let me take 2 questions, then I'll bring the other panelists here. As
What did we drop to? Sebastian?
Oh, sorry. I was talking. I don't know. Somehow I went mute. I apologize. Sorry. I said let's jump to 2 questions. Then after that, I'll bring my other panelists. That way, they can also give us their perspective in terms of how they view it from their different community. You do realize that we are composed of a very big group in terms of age and also different communities. So we'll go to this 2 more questions, then I'll bring the other group here, the other panelists that we have here, so that they can give us a different swing of how they see this thing. And this other question now goes to Angela. Why is mental health treated as a personal weakness instead of a safety issue, just like drunk driving or not wearing a seatbelt? And I think that's for Sebastian. That question is for Sebastian. I'll come for you, Angela. So Sebastian, why is mental health treated like a personal weakness instead of a safety issue, just like drunk driving or not wearing a safety belt?
Well, in the young community of today, what we see as normal, it doesn't necessarily mean it's good or safe. We genuinely see reaching out for help as something, some people would see it as weak or weird to confront deeper issues within yourself. But that's actually not weird or weak. And it's actually very brave and strong of people to do. Wearing seatbelts and addressing mental health issues are things that we don't see done enough in our community today because people, well, think about it, putting on a seatbelt, you don't necessarily see that as cool, or drinking while completely sober and not risking it at all, that's not seen as cool either. Drunk driving might not necessarily come off as cool, but drinking does to a lot of people. And a lot of people transport themselves by driving. So the act of driving while intoxicated is something that happens a lot because people think drinking is cool. But people don't think calling their parents and asking them for a ride home is cool. That's why they take the risk because they want to come off as not the weird guy that called their mom to pick them up from a party. I think that we need to make it more common to call people to make the safer choice rather than the cool choice because the safer choice keeps people alive.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. That's it.
Good answer, Sebastian. Angela, many teens say that stress, trauma, or pressure leads them to substance use. Are schools and families doing enough to address the root cause?
I do agree with the fact that stress, trauma, and pressure does hold a role in what a teen decides to do in taking drugs and alcohol. But I do think that in our community, there are always um things that help guide us. There's not that much information put out that can help prevent it. Because when I went to Traction and when I also went to Prevent Ed, they gave me a lot of good presentations that I think a lot of teens would help from, but that's not something we usually have access to. Most of the time, it's just given in one class and then that's it. You take it one class out of the whole high school year and then you don't learn much from it afterwards. So just taking it more seriously and posting out little flyers and things like that, having little posts, I think that can help. But then also at home, making sure that you are able, like you were in a comfortable mental health position and all of those things can also help the teen themselves. But doing those little things and bringing out more awareness can also help as a guide for teens.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And now that invites me to invite another twist, just so we can hear from a different group in terms of the stuff that we have put across. And these are also the two teams from the Hindi Society that we have today. And I will also want to hear their take on the issues that we are doing. And I'll start off with Tushan. Tushan, if you would please say hello to us and tell us what you think based on the questions that we have answered and the presentations and how your community is handling this issue of mental health and safe driving.
Well, I would like to say thank you for having me and this in the USA community here. My name is Tushan Khatri. I am a junior at Lafayette High School this year. And from what we have talked about and the presentations, I feel like this community has done a great job at simplifying to an extent of what issues are present in daily lives. So, for the example of driving while intoxicated, it is a major problem and it is extremely dangerous to teens and it is very common. So, that was a good point. And I like all the questions that we have answered. And yeah, I especially like the presentation about drug abuse, as that is a rising problem in not only high schools, but entire states. And those do cause more problems on the road for other.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you so
thank you.
much. And I'll come back to you with another question. Now I invite, I think, how do you say it? Munasi? And also tell us some of the things that your Hindi community is doing in regards to this issue of drunk driving and mental health. Welcome. Say hello to us.
Yeah, I feel that our community is like kind of working very nicely in like managing all of that stuff. And then I would also like to say that the presentations we talked about today and the questions we are answering, they were really on point and very straightforward. And I also like how they mentioned like speeding is also a cause of crashes because that is really real when it comes to teen driving. And then I also liked how they mentioned caffeine is not good for your health and it acts like a drug. So that is true. Yeah, so that's the point.
All right. Thank you very much. We'll go back to our questions for the panelists. I think time is running out, but we'll try and see if we can slide in a few more questions and see what your put is going to be for the Hindi Society also. But we'll jump into a few more questions here that we can, if we can get Sebastian and Angela and the panelists to step in, and also Mishabo. And the next question goes to Mishabo, if you're still there with us. What's more dangerous for teens today, impaired driving or untreated mental health? And why aren't we talking about them together?
Well, I did a quick Google search right before you asked me this question, and it shows that 48,000 people died from suicide, while 39,000 died from 39,000 died from car crashes. Obviously, from the numbers, we can tell that one causes more death than the other, but what we don't look at is that intersection of people dying from mental health issues on the road. It's not a one thing is greater than the other. It's more of a, it's more it's about addressing that intersection that causes people to spiral into a mental disarray and to get on the road and then to cause something to happen, to maybe lose their life or lose the life of others. And we don't talk about it because one of them is a behavioral problem. Somebody's going out, somebody's drinking, somebody's driving, while the other one is a private issue, something that they should keep to themselves, something that society doesn't really want to think about and look at. Yeah.
Thank you. That's a pretty good deep answer that your Google must have done you right. That shows me that you've been doing some good research and you're pretty involved in this activity. Appreciate that answer. The next one goes to Sebastian. Sebastian, if you knew your mental health was affecting your ability to drive safely, would you stop driving or keep quiet to avoid judgment?
Personally, from the adults that have raised me and from what I've learned from all these things, I think I would be able to make the strong choice of not driving or not making whatever decision while I'm mentally impaired. But I do know from what I've learned that a lot of people are afraid to make that step and are afraid to ask that one adult for help that could have made the big difference. That a lot of deaths have come from maybe suicide, maybe impaired driving, and lots of other things because people were afraid to make the step and ask for help. Well, what this meeting's purpose is that we want that people to leave this meeting being able to ask for that help or being able to be that help for somebody else. And we all hope that we're not the person behind the wheel, but sometimes we need to take a look at ourselves and make sure we're in the right headspace. Thank you.
God, this is great. Greenspan, is there traction for adults? I think that's what we want after this. I think we'll also like to get that traction thing for adults. You guys are very, very informative in this thing. So if there is one, please let us know. We can make arrangements for the adults to attend one too. The next question goes to Angela. And after Angela, I would like to hear someone from the Hindi USA also give a perspective on this one. How do cultural expectations, family responsibilities, or immigration stress shape how young people cope with pressure and risk? You can,
I
and you can,
think
and in
that
there you can add how the connection, with V4A friends has helped you.
yes. So, um, I think that since me personally, I grew up in a household where we have expressed our feelings, and I've they have taken me to programs that like the teen mental health first aid, prevent ed, traction, and all those things that could help me be more in tune with my emotions and understand how my emotions can um affect others. But for some people, that might not be the case since they might see their parents doing the same thing, or their parents might be more stricter on them, so they're not really allowed to express their emotions as much. So it does whole like have a big effect on how they do things as their outlet, which going on a high speed might be the way that they release their anger or their emotions, but that's not the best coping mechanism, as Abigail was saying before. And I think it really does shape how you grow up and however your family does things and the people you surround yourself with. I think that really does shape how you express yourself and also cope with things. But also taking programs like teen mental health first aid and all those things can really help you broaden your understanding of what you might need to do and what might be a better way of dealing with those things for yourself.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And I'll invite maybe one person from the Hindi USA, Tushan or Manashi, if you want to add something in terms of how your community and your society has helped you in terms of shaping this. And if you have something you can add to that, any of you.
Yeah. So I liked a few points that Angela said about culture really affects how you grow up and what kind of person you become. So I would say personally in our community, mental health isn't an issue that's very openly talked about or easily communicated. And that could just be because of culture before us. And I feel like family responsibilities are definitely different in our community. And I feel like one benefit would be to normalize talking about mental health issues, as that would, with time, of course, would allow teens and children in our community to talk more openly about it.
Thank you. Thank you very much. All right, we'll go to we are almost done here. Guys, just give me another 5-10 minutes and we'll be done. And this next question comes to you, Sebastian. What advice would you give immigrants' parents to better understand their children? And what advices would you give to immigrant youth to understand their parents? And while you're answering that, you can also tell us this final part of it. Now we'll put that for Mishabo. So go ahead and answer that for me.
All right. I'd like to say both of these groups grew up in very different times. A lot has happened through the past decades or so. So they've probably grown up through a bunch of different things. And referring to mental health, one of the major topics today, from what I've talked to my parents about, mental health has been seen as not as high, only has become a topic that we speak about today. When they were kids, mental health wasn't spoken about as much or seen as a real problem. Now we have the intelligence to see that maybe not everybody's doing as well as other people, and maybe not everybody is feeling the same as other people. So if our parents don't address mental health with the same urgency as we do, we have to understand that maybe they haven't grown up seeing about it or talking about it. They've gone through tougher times without the mental health aspect of things. So they're like, why can't you? But that's not a good argument. I say my advice to the adults would be to just speak to your children because speaking can clear up a lot of things. There's a lot of things that you can clear up by speaking to the person you're going through a time with. And my advice to the youth would be to try and help them understand what you're going through. Try and make sure they know what you know so that it can be apparent on both sides. Thank you.
Thank you, Sebastian. All right, and I'll shoot this to Mishabo if you're there. And my question for you, Mishabo, is has attending Traction TI Institute and Teen Mental Health First Aid class transformed life?
Yeah, it definitely has for me. Just attending everything, going to those day-long conventions where we were learning about car accidents, just the dangers of not wearing your seatbelt. It just really enforced to me everything about everything about being safe on the road. I'll be honest, before the traction thing, I didn't wear my seatbelt. I do things like, like put it on, but then just sit on the thing because I just really didn't want to buckle in my seatbelt, or I just not put it on at all. But ever since that convention, the first thing that I do when I get in the car is put on that seatbelt because things like the missile effect that you learned, it really just scares you straight, to be honest.
Thank you. All right. And one very final question here that I have that has been directed to you, Sebastian. And I'll give you guys, a final moment to give us a summary. And it says, if students were in charge of designing solutions for road safety, substance abuse, and mental health, what would adults need to stop doing and start doing?
I'm sorry. Could you ask that question again? I didn't catch it.
Sorry. It says, if students were in charge of designing solutions for road safety, substance abuse, and mental health, what would adults need to stop doing? And what would adults need to stop doing and start doing? And what would you advise them to start doing?
Well, I'd say most students today, whether or not they see it, they look up to their parents or copy how they act. And they look up to the adults in their lives. And whether or not they realize they're doing it, they copy what they do. So if they see their mom on the phone driving, or see their dad eating while driving, well, they might be like, oh, this isn't bad. Or they see their dad and mom not address mental health as much as others in the current society. They'll be like, oh, this isn't as big as a problem as everybody says. But it is. Just because somebody in your life that you trust and see as good does something doesn't necessarily mean it's right. What I'm trying to say is that we all need to understand that we adults as well as the youth are all learning about all these different topics as well, and we all need each other's help on it, and we can all do it together if we just try. That's why TI, Prevent Ed, and Traction are there. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm gonna give you guys each about a minute or so, and if there's anything that you didn't get a chance to answer as you do that, and also while you're doing that, tell these kids who have no access to either friends or parents, if you don't have a friend that you think you can talk to, what they should do. While you're doing that, I think everybody has a twist in terms of how you can get this message out. So if you didn't get a chance to say something or an answer that you have in terms of what you think people should know in terms of mental health and safe driving. So I'll start off with Angela. This is your final part. Just, pitch out and tell us something that you think you didn't get a chance to put across. And then after that, we'll go
Yeah,
to.
just like I said in the chat, I'll like reiterate it so then if people aren't looking at the chat, they can also hear. But if your child is not as close to you, or if you are not as close with your parent, there are always other people and other sources you can rely on. If you don't feel comfortable talking to your friends, there's that 988 number that Abby was mentioning. There is that 74171 number as well. And there are there's teachers, counselors, there's your relatives, and just learning to find somebody that you can trust enough to lean on. Nobody will hate you for just expressing who you are and what you are feeling and what you are dealing with. Because it's a better outlet for you to express those feelings to someone else than for you to take drastic measures because you are unable to carry that stress by yourself. So, yeah, and for the parents who are struggling with that, just making sure you're making your home a safe space for your teens, being open with them and like being able to have those discussions, whether they might think that it's stupid or it might be dorky. It makes it all the better that you're having them and addressing those things in the first place to show how much you care and to show that you notice as well.
Thank you very much. Ethan, I give you a minute to kind of tie something up that we missed out or something.
Yeah.
Right. Thank you, Ethan. Good presenter.
I think something. Wait, what was the question again? If you don't mind me asking.
It's a final part, something you think you can summarize and add up. Maybe you have a minute, so something they can,
Okay.
not necessarily a question. If there's something we missed that you think it should come across.
I don't think anything is something that you missed, but really there's one thing that like I really for something to take home is I think just buckle up, phone down. I know it's the traction motto. It really does go a long way. Even just buckling up really and phone down everything. All of that can prevent many crashes, many just traffic. There's many things that like could be happening in traffic that you could stop. For example, somebody stopping in front of you abruptly, someone in the red light coming this way, and you have a green light. Things like that. If you had your phone in your hand, you wouldn't be able to stop. You wouldn't be able to react on time. So these small little things go a very long way in your life and in other people's lives.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Hanil from Hindi USA, if you'd like to say something, final part on this one. If you're still there.
Yes. I would just like to say I like all the topics that was covered. I did learn a lot from this. And I think one thing that we all need to take home is that most just for teens to know that it really is okay with mental health issues and be going through things. And it's really important to find someone or somewhere that you can let those feelings out to because it will help you and it'll help save other people if it becomes a problem like driving or you take it out in other ways.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Abigail.
So I guess what I wanted to kind of like interject on the last question, panelist question that Sebastian answered really well and kind of like build off of that. Um I think like as he said that parents like are, are role models for their kids, like kids look up to them a lot. And I just wanted to like quickly say something like coming from a Kenyan like area and like being in having all these barbecues and stuff, something that we normally do. I know that's kind of like tradition to also bring like drinks there for the parents and stuff like that. And I think that at times, sometimes the drinking can get a little bit of hand out of hand at these events, these barbecues, these functions. And I think that and most of the time, the parents have to drive their kids back home after going there. So I think maybe just, as a parent, if you're going to the function or make sure that you are not, drinking too much alcohol because you want to make sure that you're driving your kids home safely, as well as making sure that when the kids are around that you're not like consuming alcohol right in front of them and like stuff like that, just trying to make sure that you're keeping the area around the kids in as pure of an environment as they can be and just making sure that your kids get home safely just as well as yourself.
Abigail, thank you. I mean, that's a good call out. And I know how you quoted it so nicely, but I think you are calling us out in a way. We had you. So appreciate it. Appreciate it. The message got out there. Sebastian, go ahead and make your final part before we go to Michelle.
Well, in conclusion, I think that we cannot continue to let risky behavior be seen as something that's okay to do and shame people that are vulnerable enough to come out about things like mental health, substance abuse, and just unsafe choices in general. All of us are connected, and when some of us hurt, all of us hurt. We're all a part of a greater community, and these are some problems taking away from our community and even taking lives away from our community. And some people might not see these things as such a big issue, but I think we need to raise awareness because once people know it's a problem, they can stop the problem. So I think we should treat mental health and driving safety as not a weakness, but something that we can fix. And that's it for me. Thank you.
All right, the next one is the final part, also parting for, how do you say your name? Help us say your name too. Michelle? How do you say it?
Yeah, you said it right, Mishaba.
Okay.
Yeah, I think my last takeaway was you can only ever really control what you do on the roads. On roads like Grand Boulevard or Page, there's thousands of cars that drive by, but you're only truly controlling one car. And just one question, would you not want to maximize the chances of you surviving? Because we never really know what's gonna happen when you get in that car. You never know if there's a drunk driver, there's somebody depressed, anyone that's just not feeling the best. And would you really not want to maximize your chances by just simply taking a second or two to buckle your phone and no, what? To buckle your belt and put your phone down.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Munasi, now you're the last one.
Yeah, I would like to say that we need to remember some of the things that we should keep ourselves focused in our life, and then don't get influenced what we see on social media, because some of the stuff is real and then some of that is not really, like, it doesn't help in shaping your life. And I want to say that we should remember how we can maintain our future and how we, like, take care of how to drive or how to keep ourselves healthy so that we can focus on our mental health and we don't suffer from a lot of stuff or health issues.
I think we can also ask Jaden to say something. He was also a part of the Traction and TI group, but he didn't have a panel section, but he was also a very important part of the process.
Perfect. He can say something. I was getting ready to call him. Go ahead.
Thank you, Sebastian, for this opportunity. My name is Jaden Maura. I am a sophomore at Parkway Central High School. Here, I just wanted to talk and emphasize about the driving, especially the missile effect. It's going to be hard for me to say, but recently, like on Sunday night, a student at my school had died due to a car crash. And I just want to like point out that, like, please be careful on the roads. Be like aware of your surroundings. Don't fall asleep while driving, and don't drink while driving. Make sure you always wear your seatbelt and everything. Going off what Ethan said in his discussion, he said something about you may know about driving, but there's still a lot more to learn. It's really similar to what my mother said when I first started driving. She always told me that I'm always gonna be a learner. I don't know it all when I'm driving. There's still a lot for me to know. We're all learners, no matter if you have a permit or a license, no matter if you have years and years of experience. Just know that we're all still learners, and there's still like a lot for us to learn. And yeah, I also about the mental health, because I was also an attendee at TI Teen Institute. Um, to answer, like, Angela has already answered the question, but to also rephrase, to also like add on to that question, me personally, I'm also like an average teen where I feel like speaking out about my feelings is pretty, like, like, I have so much pride that I can't like speak to my feelings because I feel like people will judge me. So I just, keep stuff to myself. And I really don't have the confidence to talk to others about it. But there are very important people that I do talk about, like people my age mates. including Ethan, Abigail. There's also grown-ups I talked to, like Sebastian and Jeff. There are very great people. Like I've listened and talked to both of them. I got very good points from them. And then also, talk. You can also make friends with your counselors for the people in high school. Make friends with your counselors and teachers because they will really help you a lot. And that's it for me to say.
My God, that's awesome. That's a good testimony in itself, and just showing people how important it is for you guys that have attended these lessons and these seminars that we put across during summertime, and also the true story that you give about somebody in your school. It just makes us understand and know that this is real. It is happening every day. And I think something you pointed out, there is not an expert on the road. You're not driving all the cars. Just like you said, your mom told you you're a learner, you'll always be one. That is a true statement, and that is true. Uh, is there a Priscilla Washira? Priscilla Washira, if you want to say something, I know you attended that, and you'd like to say something. I think it's important that I give you a chance, given that you had attended all these things, and a minute to say hello and say something.
Priscilla just stepped out. She is joining another meeting, but I don't know if the president of Hindi USA, he was also driving, but if you have something, you can also be able to say. If not,
That'd be great.
are you still there?
All right, if he comes in.
Okay.
Okay. If he's not there, if he comes back, we'll give him a moment. But let me. I know it's 7:30 now, and we had intended to do up to 7:30. But Greenspan and this panelist, guys, we truly want to thank you. Not just because you did this presentation today, because we know this presentation in itself is just a climax of what you guys have been doing underground, the stuff that you've been communicating to people. I think you have done a wonderful job, and convey this to other team members that were not able to be either panelists or be in this meeting, Frank and everybody else. I think if you continue doing this, we are going to save lives. Continue being the spokesperson or spokesman or of the society and communities, where people shy to come to their parents. Be that bond, be that person that they can call to, and you know where to channel their concerns in a manner that does not shame them but helps them. So I truly want to thank you panelists, and also our speakers today, Ethan and Abigail. Thank you. This is information that would pay priceless in terms of the presentation and how you guys did it. So thank you so much. I am going to hand this over to our CEO, but before that, I want us to say thank you to Greenspan for what you did. This was a wonderful job. I'm going to hand over this now to Geoffrey. Then he can do a vote of thanks also. Yeah, I know I did it, but also if there's somebody else that we have missed out, I would like to point out, and also give you updates on other good things that are coming this summer that can help us to continue saving lives. So back to our CEO, Geoffrey.
No, thank you. I think that was very informative. Wish we had more time, but I want to say thank you also to our speakers and panelists and everyone who logged in for the entire 1 hour 30 minutes being with us. I see also great partners that we have. Nancy Foster from Think First. Thank you for joining. Casey Wilson, I saw that you are there with us. So we appreciate you, but also the big contribution that you've done in our programs, especially for raising these young people to be who they are at this time. We appreciate you. And Hindu USA STL, I really appreciate you. It's been a great partner, great honor to partner with you guys. And we hope that we can be able to continue in reaching out more people and more groups in St. Louis, not just for the African community, but for the entire St. Louis region. Because when you're on the road, we are also driving and meeting everybody. So like COVID, if one of us is not safe, all of us is not safe. So that's why we are also not just reaching out our community, but want to reach out everybody in St. Louis, get the message of being unsafe on the road. Be safe also on substance abuse, and also be safe also when we are on our mental health and well-being. I think there is a survey that has been posted there. We wanted to hear your feedback. If you can click that post survey, and take your few minutes. We just want to know, and I think the speakers want to know if this one was able to make an impact in your life. And more importantly, if you can be able to continue sharing this information with others. With that, I'll just hand over to Elizabeth so she can be able to share something about what's coming up. And maybe also you can share about our partners, appreciating all those people who've been able to put this event together.
All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for your participation. We really appreciate that our youth too for such a powerful message to everyone. And we hope that you'll continue putting that into practice and helping everyone around us who's actually going through a lot. Then I want to thank our partners. I want to thank Prevented, the Hindi community, St. Louis MHB, Mental Health First Aid, the MDOT, Teens Taking Traction to prevent traffic crashes. I also want to thank the TI, EPAD, the African Young Dreamers Empowerment Program, the Youth Engagement Society, and the St. Louis Service Fund. We also want to thank everyone from all the other states who are able to join us. I really appreciate that, and we hope that you were able to learn something. And then we'll also be providing some of the resources that can really help all of you. So this has also been sponsored by Think Fast Missouri 988 Suicide and Crisis Line, Show Me Zero, and the Fast Impact. So we'll also be sharing these resources, and also we'll be sharing a PDF on our chat so that you can be able to see all the surveys, all the resources, and everything that you are able to miss if you are not able to log in time. And then we'll also be sharing the upcoming events that you have. So far tomorrow we have a meeting known as Pathways to Tech Careers AI-enabled IT information session, which is sponsored by past scholars. And one of their representatives, Cici Mingo, will be able to present tomorrow at 6 p.m. So please join us for that meeting, and we'll also be sharing that link. And on Saturday, we have life skills and personal growth for mentees. That will be at Victor for Africa office. And we encourage 8th to 12th grade students to join us at 11 a.m. this Saturday. And this is our monthly mentorship meeting. We're trying to be consistent so that we can be able to continue providing resources and mentorship for our high schoolers. On March, we have multi-cancer detection essays. This will be presented by Dr. Adetuji Toriola at 6 p.m. So we'll also be sharing that link and the sign-up sheet. Please sign up for that because he'll be talking about different tests and upcoming trials so that which comes with early detection on cancer, because I know one or more people know people who have cancer before, and if early detections can really detect that, please join the meeting so that you can be informed. And then please sign up for the mentors and mentees meeting on Saturday, March 21st. That will be at the Deaconess Center. Please, all mentors and mentees will be meeting this year formally. So please sign up, and looking forward to seeing all of you that day. We'll also be having the Youth Mental Health First Aid on Wednesday, March 25th. This is designated for parents who have young kids. Please, if you're able to join the meeting, since it's going to be spring break, please sign up so that you can come for the meeting and learn more on mental health and how you're going to be able to assist your kids and also adults around you to be able to detect that and be able to help them. We'll also be having the couples dinner on March 27th at Holiday Inn. Please, parents, if you're able to join us, please come with your partner so that you can be able to have a great time. and learn more on different ways to be more engaged. We'll also be having adult mental health first aid on Saturday, April 4th, at Return for Africa office. And as we've talked about mental health, please, if you're an adult from college and parents, and this one will be from 18 and above. If you're able to join the meeting, please sign up and we look forward to seeing you there. And then on June 19th, we'll be having our graduation party to celebrate our high schoolers who will be graduating this year. That will be at Holiday Inn. Please sign up so that we can be able to support our students who will be graduating, and we want to see the greater things that they've been doing. And we'll also be having our Women Empowerment Dinner on August 7th, which will also be at Holiday Inn. And this is dedicated to empowering women. Please, if you're able to share all these flyers, and we'll also be sharing a link so that you can be able to keep up with the upcoming events together with their sign-up forms. Thank you so much, and I'll hand it back to Jeff.